guest to talk about the issues raised in that. Nita Wiggins is a lecturer at the ESJ here in Paris, journalism school. Nita is also a very keen observer of the scene in the United States and a frequent visitor to our studios. Nita, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, even though at this stage, because of social distancing, you're at home. Great to see you. Kamala Harris saying that America is crying out for leadership. Crying out for leadership is what she said. Do you feel this ticket, Biden-Harris, could bring that about?
Mark, yes. This ticket is going to be about the strongest one the Democrats could put forward at this point. That Joe Biden got the nomination, he had to enlist Senator Harris to step up in exactly the way that she did. She outlined so many of the pressing issues and the crises in the United States. But what she really did for me and for a lot of other voters is that she brought emotion into the discussion. We have to realize that she was born into a country in which a Black woman did not have the legal right to vote. And now she is the vice presidential candidate. And for a lot of people who want to see the United States progress in a way that's more inclusive, just that personal nugget about her life story does engage people who may have turned away and who may not have had an interest in voting in this election, though people are in large parts disappointed with the state of the country. We had over 100 million people who did not vote in the 2016 election, and picking Senator Harris does draw some of those people who may have been apathetic about the state of the country, even in 2016. I would say that her being selected does bring some of those people into the game, and we need more people to vote. Whichever way they choose to vote, we need more participation in the election, and I think this ticket does now have that power.
Indeed, participation in the election is key, and I think I can say that without taking sides. You have to vote, you have to make your voice be heard. Yeah. It's important to do that come voting day. Nita, can I ask you, what do you think? This is speculation now. What might the Trump camp be saying at this point in time? Will they be looking and listening to what has just been said by Joe Biden, by Kamala Harris? What will they be thinking?
Well, we can imagine that the Republican camp was watching the announcement tonight. And what the camp did here is that Senator Harris is actually bypassing Vice President Mike Pence. She knows that her role is not to try to move into the Pence territory and pull the religious right. And of course, it is the religious right. That's the reason that candidate Donald Trump selected Mike Pence back in 2016. And what I've done with my students here in France, we discussed the Religious Freedom Act that Mike Pence pushed as governor of Indiana. And so Mike Pence is going to continue to cultivate that support. Harris, along with Biden, will attack the Trump record, just as we saw her lay out tonight in a very prosecutorial way. I think we'll see much more of that over the next 80 plus days.
Indeed.
Attacking President Trump on a point-by-point basis.
Indeed. The forensic approach of Kamala Harris has been seen on many occasions. She's an excellent performer in Congress and someone whose legal mind is clearly a sharp asset in politics. Nita, just to close here, do you feel that what we're seeing from now on is what we've seen tonight is how the campaign is going to go from now on? More attacks on the Trump-Pence record, more attacks on how COVID-19 has been mismanaged in many ways, and more attacks on how ordinary people aren't getting a good deal?
I think so, because we have two attorneys who are on the Democratic ticket. And so I do think they will lay out a case in a way. But also to bring in some of those, what we call the suburban white female voters. I think we will hear the term Mamala quite a bit. And of course, that's the nickname that the stepchildren of Kamala Harris use for her. And so when she refers to herself as Mamala, that does bring in a different type of voter who may not be so motivated about issues such as police accountability, which is one of the big issues of Senator Harris, and pursuing the banks in a way. So bringing in the mamala, that more feminine edge of the candidate, along with the prosecutorial attack of the Trump-Pence administration, I think those are the two ways that this ticket is going to move forward,
Indeed.
especially because of Senator Harris's selection.
Indeed, and bridging that gap as well. If we had more time to talk, we could go into it between communities and obviously sort of being someone who quite visibly can speak out on issues related to race. Nita, thank you very much indeed. Always a pleasure to speak to you here in France 24, and I hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much indeed. Nita Wiggins, lecturer at the ESJ here in Paris. That's the journalism school based here in Paris. Biden and Harris, it's official. They've spoken, they've stated their case, and it's 83 days until the election in the United States. They're going to be action-packed. We'll follow it every step of the way here in France 24. For more news, stay with us.